Good morning, Annie. Good morning, José Luis.
Hello, David.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning.
Fine. And what about you? You have a nice weather down in Spain?
Yes, more or less. Yeah, it's cloudy. This week it's cloudy. The whole week.
Yeah, we have -degrees and snow here in Denmark at the moment, so it's really cold. Yeah, I'm looking forward going to Spain in a few weeks for
Where are you coming?
vacation. In March. So we're getting there.
And for Easter.
Yeah, we need some sun. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And just to talk what we're writing about, my boss will be back at Monday, and then he will finish what we have been writing back and forth.
Perfect.
It took a while, but
Yeah, I know.
let's not
It's always
talk
tricky.
about.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Hi, Eva.
Hi.
Hi,
Hola, Maria.
everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
So it's 10 o'clock. I think that I'm sure if we should wait a little more, we can start. We are right now 18 people online. So we can start. If anyone else is joining us, they will be very welcome. So let's start. Here we have the program for today. Good morning to everybody and welcome to our third and last the main webinar for this series of 3 webinars that we will have the opportunity to reflect and share ideas and proposals to promote entrepreneurial education and challenge-based learning in higher education. Following the program, I will do a very brief presentation of the DE-EMIND project, and after that, my colleagues will go in deep in the description of each element or results of our project. Let's start. First of all, I would like to explain you the path that we follow to arrive at the DE-EMIND project. As you know, the constant and rapid social changes of the recent years has forced us to rethink our higher education system, its meaning, its goals, its curriculum, its position in our society. The higher education institution have the responsibility to promote the development of the competencies necessary for the students to be able to exercise an active citizenship both inside and outside of the professional spheres. In this framework, the European Commission has worked to strengthen the development of key competencies for lifelong learning. And of course, the entrepreneurial competence is one of those key competencies, which involve the participation of external agents in our higher education programs. In this context, the format for a LIM project was born, allowing us to develop an on-site model for promoting entrepreneurial education, and that's the ATOM model. During the development of the project, we came across, as you know, the COVID-19, and we were forced to rethink the model for online environment at the same time. And at the same time, we discovered a challenge-based learning methodology, an active pedagogical approach that allows us to contextualize the ATOM model in the higher education curricula. And to do that, we have been working on the DE-EMIND project for the last 3 years. The DE-EMIND project was expected to contribute to improve the quality education as one of the main SDG of the United Nations through focusing on 2 main aspects. The first one is the digital transformation of our educational systems, in our case, higher education systems, and the second one is the development of the entrepreneurial competencies using CBL. The DE-EMIND project has been also associated with 2 higher education priorities of the Erasmus Plus program. That's rewarding excellence in learning, teachings, and skills development, and stimulating innovative learning and teaching practices. And finally, our project is also related to one horizontal priority, and that's addressing the digital transformation through the development of digital readiness, resilience, and capacity. The main goal or the main aim of the DE-EMIND project was to design, to develop, and test a digital challenge-based learning methodologies, strategies, and tools for promoting entrepreneurial mindsets in higher education. And we also had 5 specific goals. The first one is to develop and promote the use of a trans-European platform for CBL, innovation, and peer learning amongst students and teachers. The second one is to facilitate the real-world challenges where students cooperate with external organizations to help them to solve these challenges. The third aim was to merge challenge-based learning and entrepreneurship teaching. The fourth is to increase students' capacity to work at international level. And the last one, the fifth, is to reinforce connections between higher education institutions and external organizations to co-create projects to foster entrepreneurship. And what have we done so far? To meet these goals, we have been working on 4 project results. The first one is the EMIND methodology and the self-assessment tool. It has been focused on the further development of the digital spheres of the on-site atom model created in the Forum Link project. And additionally, based on the conceptual approach of the atom model, we have created a self-assessment tool to measure creativity and entrepreneurial culture among higher education students. The second project result has been the EMIND toolbox and platform. It is an open free section with a description of the atom model, a digital repository with open resources for promoted entrepreneurial mindsets, and an intranet for easing interactions among students, teachers, mentors, and external organizations. Let's go back. Here we are again. The third project result is the training pack. These project results contribute to build the capacity of teachers, students, and mentors to work with the EMIND methodology in higher education institutions. And the last project result is the EMIND MOOC. We have created 2 massive open courses for students, teachers, and mentors. One of them in the Coursera platform, a very well-known platform for MOOCs, and the other one in our own EMIND platform. All this work has been jointly developed by 5 great partners, 4 higher education institutions and 1 chamber of commerce. And that's the University College of Northern Denmark in Aalborg, the University of Applied Science of Düsseldorf in Germany, the University College of Limburg in Belgium, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Songrad in Hungary, and the Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona in Spain. If you want to know more about our project, our methodology, our tools and training packs, you are in the right place, but you could also visit our website where you will find a short description of the project and all our free access project results. That's all from my side. I was brief, but as I already told you, my colleagues will explain you each of our project results in more details. And I think the first 2 of them are Anni Stavnskær and Merete Langela from the UCN Denmark. So Anni, Merete, the floor is yours.
How can I share? I don't have a share within my screen.
Next in the red big button, you have an icon with arrow pointing up.
Yeah, but it's not active in my screen today. No?
Sorry. I can put you as because you are as an external agent. I can try to make you a presenter.
I think that's maybe what we need, all of us presenting.
You can do it now because you are now a presenter.
Yes, now I can.
Okay, I will do Annalise a presenter also, Cecilia presenter.
Ilsa also.
Ilsa also, yeah. And who else? Elisa, I think.
Am I sharing now?
Merete also. Yeah. Yeah, you can do
Anni?
it.
Yeah.
Is the screen start sharing now?
Yeah.
I'll try to see if I can get in sharing mode also. It's always like this with online. Maybe it's a demonstration of how it is with online. There's always some technical issues, right? So, yeah, welcome to my presentation, and I will take the opportunity to thank you in Barcelona for being such a great lead for the last years. I know we didn't plan, but those who are active now and listening, would you please give a round of applause to David and his wonderful team from Barcelona? I know you don't like this, but please raise your hand and give an active clap, because that's what I need, because this is also something that we learned within working with online, that you still need some activities and getting the students active and get participation activity, even though you're in online mode. Okay, so Thank you for that. And first of all, I want to share with you our wonderful atom model in a digital mode. So one thing you will never forget, also even if it's in an online mood, is the special social sphere. It's the atom model, but the social spheres, the social relations, the way you work with people, that is still very important, even though it's in an online mode. Because if you don't have that, you don't feel the connection and you don't learn. We've been experimenting in this D-EMIND with doing online teaching. And when we prioritize the social learning spheres and the relations between the students, we had much better results than only going to the point what you often do when it's in an online mode. So that's why we still need the social relations. We need a lot, and we have within the platform a lot of activities of how you can do that in an online course. So that's around the atom model, warming up the atmosphere for the atom model. Then you have the mental learning sphere, that's the mindset. You need to go into the right mindset to get this innovation process working in an online mode. In that sense, there's also a lot of good activities within the platform. I'm proud to say we shared all the best from all these great partners around the project. So there you can find a lot of free online activities, open source materials of how can you remember to do that in an online mode. And then we go into what David also explained, the challenge-based learning, where everything is started with the challenge. The challenge is in focus of all the things and all the rest. The thing is, that's what you also can see from me sitting here. It's not that the physical fear, that's what we learned in D-EMIND, it's not that it doesn't impact me. I'm sitting in my own office. Is it warm? Is it cold? What is in here, furniture? It still impacts the students. But as a teacher, we don't have the same impact on where the students are. Sometimes we even see, to be honest, that somebody is sitting in their bed or laying down while we're doing online teaching. So that's the challenge with the online we experienced. Yeah, but the atom model. We also developed that in the forum link, but we developed it to a new level. So all the activities, there's activities for each phase, and all the activities is made for online teaching. So I think it's a huge resource for online teaching to go in and take a look. So you can pick and choose, or you can do the whole phase. All the phases from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you can choose one phase or another. But the core of the whole thing, of the whole atom model, that's the challenge. And that's what we talked about earlier, and you talked about earlier, David, is the challenge-based learning. Often we see that the challenges is challenges from external stakeholders, external partners that we're working with. It can be both public institutions, it can be within a lot of different areas, green sustainability, social innovation. It can also be more business oriented. But an important part of challenge-based learning is that it's a real challenge. It's not a case, it's not something that the teachers invent, but it's actually something that comes from external partners. So that is the core, and that's where everything circles around the challenge. All the phases is going around this challenge, because you have to have that visible through the whole project, also in an online universe, to remember why are you working with, what are you working towards. So it's the goal or the core of the whole process. Yes, as I said before, then when you have the challenge, if it's your first time, it's a good idea to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the first phase is the explore phase. The explore phase is where you go in and find more knowledge surrounding the challenge. You get to know more. It could be the customers, it could be the patients, it could be a field. So you can either collect some data, or you can go in and read some theories and have teaching around the field that is regarding the single challenge. And then when you collected all this data, you get an analyze and see the patterns. So you figure out, what did I know now about the challenge? So you have that as a background or a platform before you enter the ideation phase. And here we have a lot of great tools. And I think I speak for all of us. It's been a challenge because a lot of ideation is very active in a physical way. So our brain has been working on how to transform that into an online mode. And I think there we have another finding, a special finding within this project, because we found out, yeah, but even though you're online, it's still nice to stand up and run for a thing or do something active, so you don't only sit and listen, but you actually still activates the students, building prototypes with whatever you have in the room and so on. So I think that's, for me, one of the findings, that remember to do that, is even though it's in an online mode, but there is also, of course, a lot of digital tools also in our methodology that you can use for the online, the more classical online teaching. Lots of great tools that you can use. And when you ideated a lot of ideation, again, around the channels, that's in the core, then you choose an idea, and that idea you prototype. And as I said, you can prototype it digitally, or you can prototype it physically, depending on the challenge and the students and the time you have for each of the prototyping phase. So yes, that's important to do. And you can, of course, I forgot to say that, but each of the phases you can adjust if it's 1 day, half a day, 1 week, or 1 month. And that's the transferability about the model we make that I'm very proud about, that it has this stretchy thing to it. And when you build a prototype, you have to realize, depending on the challenge, sometimes it can be very personal sensitive. It's, for example, it's in health, so you're not able to do the action yourself as a student. Then you might suggest an action plan for the external parties, suggesting a challenge or wanting solution for a challenge, and then they implement it. But sometimes also here you have to remember, sometimes we even saw that the realize phase for somebody, they got an external challenge, but it gave them such a good idea that they actually made a business out of the solutions that they made. So it can be both be entrepreneurship, where it's a company or public institution that gets solutions that they can implement, but it can also be that you get such a good idea that you want to realize it and make action and make your own business from the solutions that you develop through these phases. And that's why it also talks in the methodology a lot about the entrepreneurial mindset. And as you said, David, it's also one of the goals that we have, is to develop the students' entrepreneurial mindset. And then in the end, of course, you have to evaluate also. And the evaluation is twofold. One is for the product or the process that you develop for the external people. What did they find worked well? What can they implement? What will create value for them? Or if it was your own company, asking the customers what value that solution will create. And then you have the internal evaluation, which is, how did this process work in an online mode? What did I as a facilitator and teacher learn? How did it work, what I did with you guys today? Because it's also important all the time to have a process, an iterative process, where you keep learning as a teacher to develop your teaching. And I think for that, it's one of the big challenges within challenge-based learning is actually the change in your role as a teacher or facilitator. It's a very different role from what we're doing actually now, where I'm talking and you're sitting listening. It's much more activating and framing to free the students to be creative. Yes? Yeah? And then it's time for you, Daniel. I don't know if you can share. I'll stop sharing, and then you will talk about what is this called?
Yeah.
This tool.
The self-assessment tool. Yeah.
Yeah. I stop sharing.
Yeah, I can share, I think. Let's see.
Yes, you are now present.
And hello, everyone.
Oh.
I will just try and share here.
Stop sharing, didn't I? I hope.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. Thank you, Daniel.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. So I will just do a quick introduction, I guess, of the self-assessment tool and the thoughts behind it, because it's everybody teaching, doing anything online will probably be familiar with the fact that students aren't necessarily well, it's a hard enough environment to teach in online. So how do we do self-assessment, and well, how do we do assessment? Overall, that can be hard. And now Annie talked about evaluation as well. So it is just a hard thing to do in a lot of senses. But getting students to then do it themselves requires some interesting questions. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, it's kind of a fluffy thing as well to be okay. So how do I figure out if I'm better at entrepreneurship after I've learned this thing? How do I assess myself in this environment? And that's where we looked at some very, very interesting international research being made previously about self-assessment. And there was several really great research papers about how to formulate questions and how they should be nuanced in terms of doing self-assessment, and how to ask questions to get a result in terms of entrepreneurship competencies. So that's kind of the foundation that we built upon, and then we transferred it over to a digital context. So the setup is that we've made this tool, and you can see here that we can go to the self-assessment tool, which is just a questionnaire. I'll just make it a bit bigger here. But yeah, so what you do is that you send the students this beforehand and then afterwards, and then they get an email with the results, and then they can compare the results, and you as a teacher can also compare the results from the students or the participants. But what's interesting is it focuses a lot of obviously on entrepreneurship, and it goes. I won't go through all of these questions; that would take too long. I'll just quickly introduce some of them. Where you have, for example, a mindset section, where on a scale from 1 to 7, they have to share how much they agree, and then it's something like, I'm often the first one to suggest a solution to a problem, so it becomes a bit more fluffy, but we do it this way to get a more quantifiable number, so we can see how much they've moved in terms of the material. Then we have something about core self-evaluation, and this is the setup for pretty much all of them from 1 to 7. And yeah, so this is where the previous international research comes into play, where it's been, so there's been a lot of thought behind each question and to get a good result in the end. So we have all of these different questions, and then we have some online specific ones as well, where we have teaching methods, we have entrepreneurial teachers, we have digital, and then this is where it goes into specific, it goes into the specific area of online learning. And we have a question, for example, I prefer digital learning over being taught in a physical classroom. I think I said less and contributed less in the lesson because it was online, and I enjoyed the flexibility of learning online. So focusing on this. So the student fills out these questions, and then afterwards they fill it out again, and then they can compare. And lastly, this tool is available on the D-EMIND website, where you can also make a copy. So you can be inspired by the questions and make a version yourself. And it's also open to, if you like, this is the full toolbox. Maybe you don't need the full toolbox, so you can always make a copy and then remove some of it if you feel like that's necessary. So yeah, that is the self-assessment tool with some very well thought out questions to focus on entrepreneurship and the online environment. Yeah, I think that's everything I have.
Thank you very much, Daniel, and thank you very much, Annie, for the presentation of the methodology and the self-assessment tool. And now it's time for the Mind Digital Toolbox platform, and the presentation will be done by Elisa Inostroza and Julian Sprate from the HST in Germany, Düsseldorf.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm gonna share my screen. In here. Okay. You're gonna see it right away. Can you see it?
Yeah, we have the screen share. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So the team Germany, DHSD, was with the task of doing the platform. This is the PR3, the project result 3. And so I'm going to introduce you guys to the platform. So today we're going to see how's the platform built and what are the SDG filters and the best practice challenge and some tutorial videos about it. So the platform is built with the SDGs filter, the Sustainable Development Goals. And with it, you can filter this search if you want to look for a challenge with a specific theme of the SDGs. Or as a creator, you can choose the SDGs that are suitable for your project, for your challenge. So there are the both ways that you can use them. And I'm going to present you 2 best practice challenges that we did so that everyone can see how it works and how it seems, like the description and how it seems. So here it will be as a student, and you can see that there says join a challenge, so you can join it. And you can see also the SDGs filters that it has, the title and the description, so you can see, okay, what it is about, does it interest me or no. And the status here is ongoing, so it can be ongoing, solved, or yeah, that will be it. And here it will be as a creator, and you can see that there says organizer because you created that challenge. And you can set it up so that it will be public or just for specific people, and so that you can share it with your students or with some companies or with everyone. And we made some tutorial videos about it. So we have a tutorial video on how to log into the platform, introducing the D-EMIND and the platform, and how to create a challenge. Those all stay in the D-EMIND website. And that will be it from me. Here is a QR code to access the platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Alisa. And the next one, the program, is Ilse Frozen and Alice's Routen from UCL Belgium, and they will be presenting our domain training pack. So the floor is you. Okay.
Ilse, you're muted.
Yeah, we cannot hear anything.
Ah, yeah. Wait, but am I sharing already? No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have the wrong presentation. I see. I'm sorry. Annelies, do you have the right one? You are sharing the right one, but I will share it.
Ilse, have you changed your hair color?
No, but
A haircut. Learning sphere, but I was just looking at you, haven't you?
no, but I have a new haircut. Thanks for noticing, Annie.
We are just filling it out with the social learning sphere, you know. It's important.
It's important. Okay, Ilse, I shared the presentation. You see it? Okay. Yeah. That's the one. Okay. So I'm sorry for
Okay.
for messing up, but that's digital, as Annie said. So I'm Elsa, and together with Annelies, we are researchers at UCLL in Belgium, and within this D-EMIND project, we were, amongst others, responsible for the development of the training pack. So to situate the training pack within the project, we have the methodology as a project result, and then we have the platform, we have the MOOC, and in the training pack, there we will give teachers and students and mentors the necessary tools to implement challenge-based learning using the D-EMIND methodology in the classroom. So the training pack consists of 2 chapters. We have a training plan and we have the training materials. In the training plan, we explain the why and the what of challenge-based learning. And you can also find practical information on how to implement it in your classroom using the social and the learning sphere and the activities of the ATOM model, all in the digital context. So the first chapter of the training pack is the training plan. It's a more theoretical chapter. It's the why and the what of digital challenge-based learning as a method for entrepreneurial education. And in the plan, you can also read more about the ATOM model that we are using within D-EMIND and its theoretical foundations. Then in the training, that's the training pack. Then in the training plan, in the training pack, we have prepared, it's the how you do it. There we have prepared 6 modules. Can you go on to the next slide?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have prepared 6 modules, and apart from module 0, which is about setting the stage and presenting the challenge, each module is dedicated to one element of the ATOM model. So the first one is about exploring the challenge. Then we have the analyze phase, the ideation phase, the prototype, the realize, and the evaluation phase. And per module, we provide you with an overview of all the activities that you can use in your digital classroom to work on that particular element. So here you can see an example for module 3, ideation. So we have a list of all activities. We have an estimated time per activity, which is an indication of the time needed. Of course, the real timing depends on the activity that the teacher selected for the elements. For example, here in module 4, prototyping is something that can be done in 30 minutes, but it might also take days or weeks. And next to the estimated time, we also give an indication of the size of the student group that the activity can be done with. Okay, so per module, you can find next to the description of the element and the list of the suggested activities that I just showed you, a template explaining these 8 points, the aim of the module, the learning outcome, competences, activities, timing, possible assessments, tips and recommendations, and further reading. Here, again, you can see an example of the template we have for the ideation phase. So first, it's a bit small. So, but first we have the aim of the module being the general intention or objective. The learning outcome is what the students will be able to do or demonstrate after completing the elements. Competences refer to the Entrepreneurial model. Activities, here we give a suggestion for timing, which of course depends on the activities chosen by the teacher. But we make already a suggestion and the teacher is always free to choose other activities. And then we have the assessments. So we give suggestions for assessment methods during and at the end of the module. And then we have tips and recommendations, like, for example, students should go deeper into the ideation process, avoiding getting to the facts too soon to a solution. So some general tips, and then also some further reading.
Yes, and you can also find in the training pack the templates that are ready to use. We made PowerPoints. So as a teacher, you can use those PowerPoints as a base. You can add, remove activities. You can add, remove slides, and according to how you like to implement the Atom model in your class. Now in the PowerPoint, which you can download on our website, you can find all materials you can use when working with challenge-based learning. So of course in the digital environments, always a short explanation of what the element is about, a selection of activities, what Ilse explained, and you can use it to build your own presentation to give your own class. But for example, PowerPoint for Module 3, Ideate, we can give an illustration of that. So first of all, a short explanation of what is ideation is about. And then also you can find a list of the activities the teachers or students can choose from when working on the ideation elements. And for example, picture boosts can be used with a step-by-step guide. It's also included in the PowerPoint. You can also find slides with ready-to-use pictures. For example, the picture boost, it's a clear overview of what the teacher has to do. So for example, you can pick a number to get a picture. You can use the link from Random Word Generator. You can look at the picture together. And which ideas do you give for the solution, for the challenge? Share your ideas with each other. Note the ideas down in the chat or in the Padlet or another digital tool you use as a teacher. Also one idea per click. And if no ideas come anymore, then you can choose another picture and do it again. Also another activity is the idle. So always a step-by-step guide. For example, how would he solve the challenge? And then also the step-by-step guide, how you can introduce it in your class and do it with your students. Now you can easily download all materials in the toolbox on our website, d-emind.eu. And hopefully you can start working with challenge-based learning in a digital way in your own institution, your own class. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And the last project result where we are introducing you is the MIND MOOC. And this occasion we will have Cecilia Inés Suarez from the UAB Spain doing the presentation. So Cecilia, if you want.
Very much, and if I remember how to do this sharing thing and everything. Assuming you are seeing my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so good morning to everyone again. Thanks for having me here, and I will be presenting the movie designed in our project. As Annelies and also David mentioned before, this is the R3, and this movie was named Co-Creation and Challenge-Based Learning in Higher Education. And it's linked to the previous PR, as you probably noted, especially to the PR3 and PR1. The MOOC was named.
Celia, can you turn up the volume a little bit on your computer? It's my, yeah, I have problems with it in my hearing. Thank you.
Is now better?
A little bit.
Now?
Yes, you can.
Maybe if I came close to the screen. I'm sorry to scare
Yeah,
you.
that's better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry.
Thank you.
If you have my face in your, you can go back and forth, and I will be close to the screen. Thanks very much for the notice. So yes, I was mentioning then the main features of our MOOC. The name was Co-Creation and Challenge-Based Learning in Higher Education. As David previously mentioned, it was designed in this open online course. It's a MOOC in the Coursera platform. And of course, to facilitate an accessibility and online learning, the duration was established in 4 weeks with an 8-hour dedication per week, more or less. And to promote participation and engagement from an international audience, we choose to do it in English. And we would like to highlight some of the features that we thought that makes this MOOC, this innovative character of this MOOC. So the first one is that it's self-regulated and flexible. That helps to the students to do the course at their own pace without time constraints. As we mentioned, we aim to an international audience, so that's why this MOOC has an international perspective, and it's open to synergies with organizations and different fields or other socioeconomic sectors. And it's online, so that allows you to do it at your own pace. It's more attractive in terms of blended learning and learning online. It's free access because it's in this Coursera platform, so it guarantees that you can access wherever you are without no time constraints or not any cost for you as participant. And Coursera provides you with a final certification. That's another point that it makes this MOOC attractive for you if you are interested in challenge-based learning. So far, the MOOC was launched in last September 2024, and has now a total of 200 students. So we think that it's getting pretty successful in terms of getting this audience we are trying to involve in our MOOC. So as you can see in the next slide, this MOOC is designed for an international community of lecturers, of course, in higher education, but also administrative staff of higher education institutions, teachers from other educational levels, staff of companies participating in challenge-based learning experience, and of course, people interested in the CBL learning approach. So we think that the MOOC is designed to a wide range of people interested in CBL, but also interested in the ATOM model, and also interested in teaching, in how we can improve teaching, how we can engage our students in a more active-based learning. So our MOOC is comprised by 4 modules, as you can see. Each of them focuses on one topic related, of course, to our D-EMIND project. And also all the modules are connected, I would say, with 2 main topics. One of them is challenge-based learning, and the other one is the ATOM model. So that's why I think that our previous presentations are already explaining, especially the ATOM model, but also the challenge-based learning. So then you can see how all of the products result from these projects are connected each other, and how this MOOC presents you to an introduction of both of these main topics, TBL, but also the ATOM model. So the first module, we go from understanding centered student teaching models to the origin and development of CBL. That gives you an introduction for you to start to getting more familiar with those 2 topics. Module 2 starts by analyzing the role of teachers in active pedagogy. And then we go to identify the main features of the ATOM model, understanding the functions of the mental and social spheres, as Anni mentioned before, trying to get more in deep on the importance of those 2 spheres in the ATOM model and for the learning. Then in module 3 focuses on the challenge. As Anni also mentioned, the challenge is the core of the ATOM model. So it's one of the main elements we are going to analyze in module 3. And the goals are to take a look on how we can identify this challenge and how we can present the challenge to do it in a way that is clear but also attractive for the learning and to engage students in our challenge. And finally, module 4, the topics explained are highly connected to the ATOM model to deeply understand the features of the model, what activities and strategies are associated with each element inside the model, and finally, to reflect of these activities and teaching in higher education. As you can see, module 4, it's like a sum up of all of the previous one, integrating not only the ATOM model, but also the reflection about learning and CBL. So each module has the same structure. So you will find videos, which are sometimes lectures, sometimes interviews, sometimes experiences. You will see all of us speaking on the videos because we are part of the project, but we also have guest speakers who are experts on the field of CBL or in the field of higher education. And that's, I think, pretty interesting feature because then you will have experts perspectives on CBL, also ATOM model, some experiences from teachers that gives you an idea of what to expect on this approach. We will also have recommended and complementary documents such as articles, reports, and all of these materials for you to consult and to read about scientific research on CBL and the ATOM model. We also have in each model other learning resources that we were like doing this research on what kind of resources we can provide that are related to each topic, more such as databases or websites or short videos of kind of resources that are not lectures or articles or reading materials. And finally, we have self-evaluation service because it's a requirement also for the Coursera platform for you to check on your learning, and you can do it on your own after finalizing each module. So then you can see how much you learn in our MOOC. So if you are interested, and I'm sure you are, you can join us and you will find the MOOC in our webpage. It's just showing where you can find and enroll. Also, you can go through the Coursera platform, and if you write D-EMIND on the searcher, you will find all of the information and the QR for you to enroll in our MOOC. And register now if you haven't already done. Well, this is our platform. Thanks very much. There is my contact. And if you have any doubt, just let me know. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Cecilia. Just a final remark. As we have already told you, we are actually very interested in connecting higher education with external stakeholders. So Cecilia talked about one of the main MOOCs that we have created. I mean, could be maybe the big one. That's the one in Coursera. But in the last screen, she also showed you that we have the second MOOC that we already told you about, and that's a MOOC focusing on external stakeholders and on the mentorship role that they have to take to go with us, solving the challenges that go creating with our students and our teachers in higher education. And that's all. Thank you very much. Now we have some minutes. If any of you have any question, any suggestion, any doubt, anything that you want to share with us, we'll be very glad and happy to talk with you and interact with you. Anybody? Maria, do you have any question?
A lot of them, but I will keep them for a very extended discussion.
Okay. So maybe since that's the last webinar, if any of us of the D-EMIND team have something else to add, to explain, to share, we also have some minutes to do it. If not, we can finish it here, ending it here. Any of
For
you?
me at the moment,
Okay.
I'm really into finding a definition of challenge-based learning because the field is so diverse. And I see that you, Cecilia, and Ilse and Annelise also went into this. So so I think that's the future work to define it more clearly. There's so many different approaches to what it is. And that came clear to me through this project. Definitely the ATOM model is an example of a teaching model for challenge-based learning because the core is the challenge, but it draws from a lot of different theoretical perspectives. So some goes with design thinking. I think Annelise and Ilse, maybe you're more inspired with that. I'm going more with experimental learning. I think you also, David and Cecilia, you are very inspired by situated learning theory. So I think that's for me the future work, at least what I'm standing still with questions around, because now it's clear how we can do it in an online environment, but that's the new questions coming in.
Yes, actually, the line or the difference between some active learning methodologies and approaches or student-centered approaches are very thin. And I think that the main difference with CBL is not that we are student-centered, it's not just that we are an active approach, but that we try to connect our curricular or our institution, higher education institutions, with external or with real challenges. And the challenges could be internal from the own university institution, but also could be obviously external. And that's something that the society has been asking us as an educational institution for a long time. And now we have the opportunity to work in this area. That's
So
basic.
what you are saying, David, is that the real difference is actually that the focus on it must be real challenges, not cases or not something that the teacher makes up. So maybe that's one of the biggest difference to PBL or RPL or whatever. Yeah. Thank you for that answer.
And actually, I think that the great contribution of this project and the former one, and me formally and the mine, is that we have been working on developing this methodology on site and online. And actually, there are a lot of areas. I mean, there are a lot of people working on sustainability, on green, on social aspect, and you already talked about that, Annie, that are interested in working in this guy, but they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the competencies to develop this. So we can provide them, we can help them to introduce this kind of methodology with their field and their areas.
I think you're true, because looking into challenge-based learning and the theories about it, there's not a lot of methods. So I think that's where the gap is. That's where we fill in the gap with the ATOM model. It's actually a how to, not only what is, but also a how to. And I'm proud to contribute with that, with the ATOM model, both in a live and an online version. So it was just like this. I'm proud of us. Hey. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can end it here if you don't have anything else to do. And that has been an excellent last webinar, I think, and a good final point for our project. We still have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to contribute to the quality of our higher education institutions. So that's just not the first step, but the second step for us. And we hope to still working on it. So thank you very much to all of you. Thank you for sharing with us these last 52 minutes, and we hope to see you all again in some similar project, webinar, or event. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thanks.